Greetings and welcome to 9 Ether Truth. I'm your host Trinity God X. The title of this video is, Yes, Black Woman is God, Here is Why. I'm going to be making a few public service announcements and then I will get into what the content of this video will be about. Firstly, my apologies for taking so long to make a video. I have so much going on in the background, it's not even funny. My apologies also to those of you who are waiting on my track. I am going through hell trying to go into the music studio and get this recorded. Of course, I don't want Tamahu to hear the high vibration, advanced knowledge lyrics that I have. And I've been going through like 4, 5, 6 different wombless, atrophied, melanated females. So I'm just going through so much problems. The last person I'm trying is a friend of mine who I didn't even really realize that had a music studio he recently built. However, he's leaving for Jamaica and won't be back to the end of December. So the track itself will not be available until sometime first or second week in January 2019. The entire album itself won't be available till probably December 2019 or January 2020. So yeah, I have lots of things going on my plate. Patience is a virtue. Another thing that I wanted to mention, if you are a Yeti, Tamahu, synthetic, hybrid, artificial being, non-9 ether, don't comment on my channel, don't sub, or else I will just block you because I review all the comments anyway. So that aside, don't forget to like, comment, and share, especially share the links to this video on Facebook, WhatsApp, wherever on social media, because the numbers I'm looking at, they should be 10, 20 times as high. I know this isn't my new channel because my first one got taken down by a low vibration motherfucking jackass. However, onward and forward, as they say. Okay, so let's get into the content of this video. In this video, I'm going to be recapping what I stated in part 1, 2, and 3 of this series. I'm going to highlight the main points, and I'm also going to make some revisions and some enhancements. I'm also going to be talking about the current state of affairs between wombless, atrophied, melanated females and God within the 9 Ether Nation. And finally, I will conclude. So get settled in, strap in, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Okay, so let's recap. In Yes, Black Woman is God, Here's Why, Part 1, I discussed the chronological order of how Black Mama gods came from the heaven realm, fell in the area known as the Great Rift Valley on the continent, and how she and other Black Mama gods self-procreated many babies, not just 1 or 2. They had 10, 15, and 20 babies in their womb at a time. Why? Because their reproduction system was in hyperdrive. Their main purpose and job was to populate the earth, and they begat birth only 9 ether melanated female Black Mama gods. And that continued on until XX separated from XY, and now Black Mama God, because she has fallen from the spiritual to the physical, is now birthing her lower half, XY. These Y chromosome, wombless, atrophied, melanated females, aka Black males. And so she continued to birth these Black males, knowing that she would fall. And the purpose of these Black males is to be her defender, her protector, her helper mate as she births these babies and go through all the trials and tribulations within the physical. So that was the main points in part 1. Now on to Yes, Black Woman is God, part 2. In that part, I mentioned how these wombless, atrophied females were jealous of the God, and I mentioned how these wombless, atrophied females started to turn against their own maker, their own creator, and betrayed her. And, you know, there's nothing new under the sun as you take a look and examination of the entire 9 Ether Nation and see what's going on between wombless, atrophied, melanated females and the gods, right? All right, so on to part 3. I talked about God shaming and God denying because, you know, these niggas suffer cognitive dissonance every time you mention the phrase Black Woman is God. I always say, if you want to know if a nig is your friend or is your loving husband or is your loving life mate or is a good coworker, good neighbor, just utter this phrase, Black Woman is God, and just pause. And then see the reaction from these salty, emotional, immature nigs, okay? That's it. That's your testing ground. So that's a recap of what was in the previous version of this series. Now on to revisions. Now in the first part of Yes, Black Woman is God, Here's Why, I mentioned that the wombless atrophied melanated females went ahead and created the Tamahu creature against God's wishes. So I'd like to revise that, retract that, because nothing happens by happenstance or by coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. It's my spiritual speculation, and this is the download that I've had since then, that it was God who ordained these Y chromosome wombless atrophied females to create the Tamahu. Why? Because God knew that her lower half could not be depended upon or relied upon to protect her for a long period of time, or to keep our story, our legacy, and keep repeating them to the young people so that our legacy would not be lost. So she ordered these wombless atrophied melanated females to carve shit in stone. She ordered these wombless atrophied females to write things on scrolls. She ordered these wombless atrophied females to preserve our important figures at the time and mummify them and put them in golden tombs so that they could be preserved. She ordered a lot of things to be built because she knew that many generations down the line would need access to this information, and she could not depend on her lower half, wombless atrophied melanated females, to be dependable and to hold this knowledge, this advanced knowledge, sacred and protected. So she ordered the synthetic hybrid Tamahu to be created. Now, the synthetic hybrid Tamahu is very guarding of our nine ether knowledge and artifacts and legacy. They have possession of it all in the Smithsonian, under the Vatican, in Johns Hopkins Hospital, all these museums. There are hidden chambers and hidden buildings with underground this that has all our artifacts, advanced knowledge, etc., that the Tamahu is guarding. And see, melanated God knew that this would be the case. So now it's our nine ether responsibility to find out what is the real hidden truth, the hidden knowledge, because I'm going to tell you, real knowledge, hidden knowledge is not available in any books, and it's very, very difficult to find it online. So you're going to have to venture out and actually dig and try to decode, discern, and decipher all the information that you can get your hands on in order to retrieve what is rightfully yours as a nine ether. So that's one of the revisions that I wanted to make. Now, an enhancement that I want to add is, I mentioned that the Immaculate Conception story is a way for these Tamahu to sort of speak the truth and hide the truth at the same time. I mentioned that it is only nine ether gods that can self-procreate and could one self-procreate and that will self-procreate as the cycle goes on. So yeah, that's true. However, I got into thinking about the Adam and Eve story because that fucking story never really sat with me. I don't really know why there would be a talking snake. Snakes don't talk. Snakes don't have a voice box. And the eating of the apple, well, I don't even think that fruit was around back when the gods were self-procreating. And it just doesn't make a lick of sense. They always paint Adam and Eve. Well, we know it's not fucking Tamahu, but they always paint it as Tamahu. However, Adam and Eve have belly buttons, so that must make you question what umbilical cord were they connected to if they were the first pair. So needless to say, that whole story did not make sense. However, the spiritual download that I got was that the Adam and Eve story is an attempt to hide cloning and gene splicing. Okay, because there is a point where they stated that Eve was made from Adam's rib. Okay, that's so stupid. And it's talking about this doctor and what have you making an operation, an incision. And you have to wonder, why the heck, if God is so great and divine, does he have to make any incision and draw a being out of somebody's rib? Why can't this so-called God Almighty just, snap his fingers and make a being? Well, again, that story is trying to hide the fact that our wombless atrophied melanated females gene spliced and once could clone and make beings. That is how the Tamahu, the synthetic hybrid albinos, Sasquatch were made. That is how the Neanderthal was made. So that whole Adam and Eve story about the portion where it states that God pulled a rib and made a woman. Okay, don't take the Bible literally because it will make a fucking fool out of you. So yeah, that's what that story of the rib is trying to conceal. So that is my spiritual download. I'd love to get your feedback on what I just stated. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the state of affairs of our nine ether nation. Black mama gods, you need to listen up. You are God. That don't mean that you act all goody goody or what have you, because everything in the universe is duality. So you know what? Go ahead and do what you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt nature and other people. So when these nicks trying to tell God how she needs to do her hair and what and the fact that she shouldn't be wearing weaves and wearing her hair this kind of way, fuck all y'all, okay? Kill yourselves, okay? No one dictates to God how she should dress, what she should do, how she should wear her hair, how she should speak, how she should conduct herself. Everything is duality. We all cannot be the same. This is why I know the Bible is bullshit, because the gist of the Bible is everybody be good. Well, there's no harmony in everybody being good. In order for good to exist, you need bad. In order for high vibration to exist, you need low vibration. Everything in existence is duality and polarity. So yeah, different strokes for different folks. There are tons of gods out here. They all dress differently, they talk differently, different body types, different look, conduct themselves differently, and that's okay. It is God who is to judge others, and especially judge wombless atrophied females, her lower half. She's to judge him. He is not to judge her. And when he tries to judge her, he's being low vibration and he's being his typical lower half self, because it is high vibration as a wombless atrophied female to sit there in maturity, in worship of God, and allow her to judge you. And not only allow her to judge you, make sure you make changes based on her suggestion and what she says, because it's what she says that goes, not what you say that goes, because you ain't got no wombless atrophied melanated females. You are arrogant. These gods out here are birthing these babies and menstruating and having menstruating pain and anointing these babies with her blood every time she births them, and breastfeeding the baby to sustain life. She's doing all of that. Plus she's working, plus she's taking care of the house, plus she's doing things in the community, plus she's making sure that everything is in order in the household, and you have the nerve to turn around and judge her. Meanwhile, you're not doing half of the things that God can do with her body alone. Anyone without a womb that's not a 93rd, shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up. You don't have no right to speak and judge God and speak against God and bash God. You have no right. Shut the fuck up. All you wombless atrophied females, shut the motherfucking everlasting all the way permanently up. Okay. Now let's talk about these wombless atrophied melanated females. You are God's helper mate. You are to help God. And if you're not helping God and serving your selfish self and trying to fuck everything inside, then you're a loser, you're low life, you're low vibration, you're immature, and there's a reason why you're God's lower half, and there's a reason why less and less of you niggas and less of XY chromosome is being born and more XX chromosome is being born. There's a reason for that, okay? My aunt is not sleeping. My aunt is very intuitive and very intelligent. My aunt don't keep things here that is not serving God or is anti-nature. My aunt seeks to get rid of parasites and vampires of all shapes, form, and capacity. So if you're a parasite to God and only want to take and give very little to nothing to God, you got to go. If you is a vampire and you're sucking God's energy and making her feel tired and stressed out at the end of the day, bitch, you got to go. Okay? There is no time for us to rule with our emotions, for us to think with our emotion. There isn't, I don't even want to say time, because time is non-existent. We are coming to the end of the Piscean cycle and embarking on the Aquarius cycle. Shit is going to be cleaned up. Everybody that don't belong here is going to get washed the fuck away. No, we are not going through no ice age. This is a flat, motionless plane covered over by a firmament. The actual shell of the flat earth always remains, but the content on the inside, which we are on the inside, gets washed away every 6,000 years. This cycle is only almost 6,000 years old. This whole earth is just 6,000 years old. And again, I'm speaking of the content on the inside. So getting back to what I was saying, clean your shit up, get your mind right, get your behavior right. And I'm speaking to you Y chromosome wombless atrophied females. Find the nearest God in your life, bow down to her, honor her, protect her, respect her, treat her right, never cheat on her, never want another woman, never want to bring another woman into the union. Polygamy is not an African practice. I keep emphasizing polygamy is nonsensical and illogical and makes no sense and does not serve the God, does not benefit the God in any way, shape, or form. Polygamy is only so that these low vibration, wombless, atrophied, melanated females out here can stick their dick into various women without the guilt. And these dumb, airheaded females go along with it because she has low self-esteem, has no respect for herself, and don't mind her fucking man dipping his dick into various women in the household. Okay, that's the kind of low life so-called God that would go along with this polygamy. Like I said, everything has duality. There are high vibration gods, just as there are low vibration gods. Now, as far as the wombless atrophied females are concerned, I have never seen a high vibration Y chromosome melanated wombless atrophied females, although I'm sure they're out there somewhere, okay? A high vibration wombless atrophied female never cheat on the God, never yell at the God, never disrespect the God, never put the God down or bash her, never tries to hurt her or harm her in any way, shape, form, or capacity, stays with that God forever, 40, 50 years. That's how long a high vibration Y chromosome wombless atrophied female should stay with a God for all his and her physical life in this physical plane. So I don't know any Y chromosome melanated wombless atrophied females who stays with a God for over 50 years. However, I'm sure they're out there somewhere, or at least they're on their way to 50 years, maybe 30 something, 20 something years. I'm sure there are some that's out there. All right, so I'm going to conclude. I'm going to remind you to please comment, subscribe if you're a 9 Ether, and click the link below on my Patreon account, and please donate. I would have really appreciate that. I would love to stop everything in my life and just make videos all day long. Unfortunately, though, this world is run by the currency known as money. There's nothing wrong with money. You have to do what you have to do for your survival in your current time that you are in the physical. So if money is what's needed to live your life and get anything that you need in this physical realm, then it only makes common sense that you obtain money. There's nothing wrong with money, nation. Anyone that says something is wrong with money is a fool, is donkey's ass. You get your money legally, however you can, as much as you can, because you're trying to survive. You're trying to make sure your children are okay and taken care of, and it's the right, proper thing to do. I would never knock anyone who's getting the most cash that they want to, who's gone through university, got their education, who owns their own business. Go for it, as long as you make sure you try to obtain land. Not here in the Matrix. Try to go to the continent or the Caribbean, own land, build there, try to build a community for your fellow 9 Ethers. And that's what you should be working towards if you are trying to obtain money through your career or through owning a business. So everything has a purpose, good or bad, high vibration or low, everything serves a purpose. I always state everything is duality and polarity. You cannot have good without bad. You can't have bad without good. You can't have high vibration without low vibration, and you can't have low vibration without high vibration. Everything is the yin and yang symbol. It is duality. All right, on that note, I'm gonna wrap up now. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share this video on Facebook, everywhere you can. Sharing is very, very important because I want those numbers on my channel to be 10 times as high as it is. So this is Trinity God X saying to my 9 Ether Nation, oneness.